All right, so today we've got the Tacoma up on the lift. We're just doing some regular maintenance. I thought it'd be a perfect time to show you guys some of the upgrades I've done for off-roading. I'm also gonna tell you which one I think is the most important, the first one you should get, and which ones aren't quite as important at first. Let's start with going over the upgrades I have on my truck. One of the first upgrades I did and was most excited about was these rock sliders. They're made by RCI. They're really good quality and I'm very happy with them. But as far as usefulness in the beginning, not super useful. You can't exactly rock crawl a stock Tacoma very effectively, but they sure do a good job of stopping door dings in the parking lot. So moving under the vehicle, I've got this gas tank skid plate. It's also not the first item I'd recommend you get, but it gives me some of the most peace of mind. I went with aluminum for this skid plate because it's a lot lighter than steel. The last thing I wanted to do on a Tacoma was put a bunch of extra weight off to one side, because the truck already tends to lean a little bit to that side anyway. Another upgrade I did, due to my canopy and tent adding almost 400 pounds to the back of my truck, was upgrade the leaf springs. With all this extra weight on the rear of the truck all the time, it tends to squat down. Something that's bad for braking performance and steering performance, and I personally don't think it looks good. I first did this by adding an add-a-leaf kit from Icon. That did a pretty good job, but it wasn't quite enough when I was loaded for gear going on long trips. So I replaced the springs entirely. This is a really good upgrade if you have a lot of extra weight, because with the stock suspension, the back is going to be sagging even with nothing else in the bed, but probably not needed if you don't have any extra weight in the back. Another thing I did is upgrade the size of the tires. Most people don't notice I've upgraded the tires because they're only 1 inch bigger than stock. It does make a difference on ground clearance. The main reason I did this instead of going for a true 33 is I don't have to chop off the cab mount. It makes it a lot easier and cheaper, and they'll fit on a stock Tacoma with no rubbing, even when you're off-roading. Another upgrade I've done is a transmission skid plate, also from RCI. This one's made out of steel. The truth is, I don't get many hits right here, but it does give me more peace of mind. It's still good to have, but probably not the first upgrade you need. The one nice thing is, I've got these optional catalytic converter guards to prevent people from stealing them. The Tacoma has 4 catalytic converters, so these are pretty nice. They're an optional add-on for the transmission skid plate. They block off access to the catalytic converters, making them a lot more challenging to steal, although they really only act as a deterrent. Another upgrade I've done is replace all my springs and shocks. I replaced all my shocks with Bilstein 5100s. It has changed the ride quality of the vehicle. I would say the suspension feels stiffer, but to me that's a good thing. Having done springs and shocks on all 4 corners of the vehicle, I now have about a 2-inch lift, which does help with ground clearance. However, with independent front suspension, you get extra ground clearance at the expense of down travel and articulation. So the next upgrade is an engine skid plate. Also made by RCI, this one is steel, and I think it's the most important upgrade I've ever done. This skid plate has sustained many hits. I've had to repaint it several times, but has absolutely saved my oil pan. Especially when you're running a stock Tacoma with no other upgrades, this plate is really low to the ground. It's just about the lowest point on the truck. When off-roading, you will hit things with it. This is the spot you're gonna hit 9 times out of 10, so this upgrade is a must. And I think it's the first upgrade you should do anytime you're gonna off-road a Toyota Tacoma. Since I've painted over this, most of the hits are covered up, but you can still see I've taken some hits on this front skid plate. The nice thing about it is it has an oil filter access panel, so you don't have to take it off to change your oil. It also has a hole for the drain plug as well, making it pretty easy to change your oil. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps us out a lot.